Breaking news, the San Francisco 49ers officially have an end of an era, the Arik Armstead era. The 49ers have announced they have officially released Arik Armstead with a post June 1st designation. Now, we've talked about it a lot on this channel, but just if you're seeing this for the first time, we will clarify. With the post June 1 designation, the San Francisco 49ers are set to clear about $18 million in cap space with his release. Now, this is how it works. Arik Armstead is free to sign wherever he wants. He can go and pick and choose what team he wants, but the 49ers don't actually see these savings until June 1st. So it's going to be fascinating to see what the 49ers do in the short term. But like we talked about, they will be coming up on 18 million in cap space in June. So again, been bracing for this. Been wondering if it was going to actually be a flat out release, if they were going to try to, maybe trade him. Doesn't seem like any of that materialized at all, or even if it was a discussion. And it appears that at the beginning of the new league year, which started at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have the official announcement from the 49ers that Arik Armstead has been released. Again, it's still kind of surreal. Obviously, we've had a couple days to process this and start to think of next moves, and we've seen all the moves that have happened with the 49ers bringing in two defensive tackles, one via trade, one through a free agent signing. We saw the two defensive ends that were signed as well. 49ers bringing a linebacker. Has nothing to do with the defensive tackles in this scenario, but it's also just, again, it's an end of an era with Arik Armstead. Arik Armstead had been on the roster since 2015. He's the longest tenured San Francisco 49er. It's is a captain, leader in the locker room. It's just a tough situation because this is the business of football. This is obviously, you want to be able to keep everyone. You want to be able to retain everyone. But as we know, the 49ers couldn't afford to keep Arik Armstead at the current figure he was making and approached him about a significant pay cut. He declined, and that resulted in the 49ers releasing him. So crazy. Well, this free agency is always crazy, but I feel like with each year that has gone by, it has got crazier and crazier. Um, the it's crazy. So we're still seeing some more information come out about this. So this is from Nick Wagner. He says the 49ers are eating $25.86 million in dead money with defensive lineman Arik Armstead's release. With the post June 1 designation, that will be split up as $10.3 million in 2024 and $15.5 million in 2025. The Niners save $18 million against the cap this year, but those savings won't be realized until June, like we spoke about earlier. But I think the more fascinating thing is the dead cap and how that's spread out over this year and next year. So they get cap space back. There will be dead cap this year and next year. So that obviously will impact the San Francisco 49ers and any moves that they make through 2025, just from a cap perspective. But apparently, I mean, the 49ers, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a cap expert. Let me be the first to tell you that. I am not a cap expert. I don't know how any of this stuff works. Trying to figure out if the cap is even real still. but clearly it is, and I'm just being facetious at this point. But it's pretty fascinating. It's pretty fascinating how all this stuff works. And when you have a beloved guy in the locker room like that, again, we're in the business side where money talks right now, and that's kind of where we are at. So, um, how it all ultimately works out in the end, what moves are freed up because of this? We are going to find out. Uh, we are going to find out how this all plays a role in what the San Francisco 49ers are doing. But I think what can be clear is we've already seen the 49ers make the moves. And also, we would imagine that the 49ers are turning to the draft to address, I would say, at least one more interior defensive tackle for sure in the draft. In speaking with some of the prospects at the draft, there were two that I spoke to that have like second, third round grades on them that the 49ers met with formally. So they are looking around at interior defensive tackles. And obviously, with what we've seen with how free agency has shaken out, that's not a surprise. Um, but I would imagine that, once free agency kind of cools and calms a little bit, um, I still think the trenches are going to be a huge priority, especially on the offensive line, um, and interior defensive tackle. And we'll see. We'll see if they make a push for edge rusher as well, potentially. But I really do think that the trenches are going to continue to be a priority for this team moving forward. I know a lot of 49er fans have kind of freaked out a little bit that, oh, no offensive line movement other than, an extension of Colton McKivitz that was finalized and announced by the 49ers as well with this move. And then on top of that move, the 49ers re-signed Ben Barch to a 1-year deal. I know a lot of fans, that's the number one thing after the Super Bowl loss is O-line, and more O-line. But I think we got to be patient. We have to follow the trends, understand how this team views certain positions, how they've built in the past, and this is on brand and on par. So I'm not surprised by any of it, but I would expect some movement on the O-line come the draft. And it could be their first pick, especially if they fill every hole on the defensive side. So we'll see. But nonetheless, end of an era. How do you guys feel about this now that it's official? It's kind of setting in. Arik Armstead done with the San Francisco 49ers. Crazy. I've already processed it and accepted it, but still crazy to think about. Again, there's just how transactional this league is, and how you can have a team leader here one day and gone the next. Crazy, crazy world we're living in. Let me know what you guys think about this move in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.